Hello and welcome to another holiday edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I apologise if there's anything wrong with the sound. I'm on my laptop. We are trying desperately hard to maintain 2 videos a day, which we've done for over 3 years now. But to do that, it does mean I have to record while I'm on holiday. And that is, for a technologically inept person like me, something of a struggle. But what have we got for you, Sudoku? Today we've got another of these ludicrous puzzles. We had the most incredible ludicrous puzzle just the other day, which was Gliperal's 178. If you haven't seen that, it is perhaps the most miraculous Sudoku ever, and that includes the Miracle Sudoku, which just had the 2 digits, because of course the Miracle Sudoku had a lot of extra rules to allow it to work, whereas Gliperal's puzzle it's just completely absurd. But anyway, Mark has decided I should be trying this one today, which is called Skyscraper Miracle by James Sinclair. And you will note, if you look at this grid, it is rather sparse. This middle bit is the Sudoku bit, and there is almost nothing in it. There's a couple of edge clues, and that's all we get. But we've got some thermometer stuff, some skyscraper stuff going on around the edge, and that apparently is enough to make this solvable uniquely. It is another of these stunning looking puzzles, and I will read you the rules to this one in just a moment or two. Before I do that, of course, we're on our quest at the moment for 500,000 subscribers. We are closing in. It is ludicrous that a channel like ours, where we showcase Sudoku variants, can have achieved these sorts of numbers. But it does show, I think, that there is a place on the internet for people who love logic and love spending a bit of time with these wonderful handcrafted creations from the Sudoku community. It really does bring a lot of people joy, me included. So if you are one of those subscribers, thank you so much. We're trying to say thank you. The way we're saying, 2 ways we've got our book available for a discount at the moment. So Cracking the Cryptic Greatest Hits, get the coupon code. It's in the video description, and order one of the few remaining copies in order, because that's going to be it then. So do get your hands on that, and then of course if we get to 500,000, we are releasing this free app that we've been working on now for a few weeks. It's going to be completely free, full of handcrafted content from some of the great and the good of the Sudoku community. We are really looking forward to saying thank you, and to getting you guys to be able to solve those puzzles by people like Fistamafel and Codec and Clover and any number of just total geniuses. So that's coming hopefully very soon. Now, let me read you the rules of Skyscraper Miracle by James Sinclair. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Numbers in the grid represent the height of skyscrapers, and clues outside the grid indicate the number of skyscrapers visible in that row or column looking in that direction. So let's stop there and check we understand this. Let's imagine this cell here was a 4. Now that would be saying that from this direction, from here, looking into the grid, or looking along this line, only 4 buildings should be visible. So, because the heights of the buildings, because the digits in this row represent the heights of the buildings, if this cell here was a 9, that would be the tallest building. And this 4 couldn't be a 4, it would have to be a 1, because everything behind the 9 would be invisible. So we would know this digit could be no higher than 6. 6, 7, 8, 9 would be a valid way, and then obviously everything after the 9 can be in any order, because the 9 is the highest digit you'll be able to see. So other possibilities, it could go 6, 7, 8, and then the 9 could be at the end, and this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. That would be a completely legitimate way for this 4 clue to work. So basically, try and make sure that you see the correct number of buildings given whatever clue it is you put outside the grid. That's how skyscrapers work. Now, what's the next rule? The purple line contains a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in any order. So the purple line is this line. So that line there needs to contain a consecutive set of digits, and they can be in any order. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Whoops, I tried to do 9, 8 like that. Something like that would be a legitimate way of filling the purple line. On thermometers, digits increase from the bulb. Okay, well, there's one thermometer and it's of length 1. So all we're really being told here is that there's an inequality sign between these two digits. This cell is higher than this cell. So this skyscraper clue is a higher number than this skyscraper clue. Perhaps not the most sort of revealing thermometer in Sudoku history. The grey line is a palindrome. That's another stupid short clue. The grey line is a palindrome which contains the same sequence of digits in either direction. So all this is saying is that these two digits are the same, because a palindrome normally is longer than 2 cells, and you know it has to read the same in both directions. It's a name like Anna or Hannah. But here, all we're really being told, if that's a 1, well, both these digits have to be the same. So we don't know what that digit is, but they have to be the same. I've just noticed they're not going to be able to be 6. The reason they can't be 6 is that breaks the skyscraper. Because if this is 6 and this is 6 inside the grid, that's a height 6 skyscraper. So the maximum number we could have here is 7, 8, 9 for a skyscraper height of 4, which makes that 6 wrong. So that's just a little tip for you. Now, what next? Digits in cells separated by a V sum to 5. So those two cells sum to 5. Digits in cells separated by an X sum to 10. So those two cells sum to 10. Digits in cells separated by a white dot are consecutive. So these two digits are consecutive. And digits in cells separated by a black dot have a 1:2 ratio. So that means in this domino here, one of the digits will be double the other digit. So we could have a 4 here and an 8 here, for example, or this could be a 2. That would be a legitimate way of filling the black dot. That's all the rules. Somewhat daunting looking puzzle, I will admit, but do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video. I know nothing about this. I suspect it's monstrously hard. But yeah, as I say, you can play by clicking the link under the video, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And we will start. I mean, these clues on the right are all absolutely useless. So I think we must be starting with this lengthy purple line, which of course is of length 9 because it spans every single row of the Sudoku. So one of these digits on this line is a 9, and that's interesting for the skyscraper, because if there's a 9 skyscraper clue, what's this row going to look like? Well, the only way of seeing 9 buildings is going to be if it's like this. We're going to have to step up in units of 1. And then and that might work, in fact, because then this clue here could be a 1. And that would be correct, and it would be the lowest digit on the bulb. That would have to be higher than 1. So we may have lucked out by putting the 9 here, but we don't know where the 9 goes, but we do know it's then going to have a sequence of 1 to 9 in incremental steps of 1. And then I suppose we're going to have an 8 on the line somewhere. Now the 8's interesting, because where does the 9 building go in the 8th row? Well, it can't go at the end, because then there will be 2 9s, so it doesn't go here, but it can't go any closer to this 8 clue than here, because if there was a 9 here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, you can't put 1 in that column anyway. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for example. Well, that's only a 7 skyscraper sequence, so that's not going to work. So wherever the 8 goes in this column, the 9 in that 8 row. Right. Well, the 9 in the 8 row must go in this column, but then this 1 is preventing this cell from being a 1. So this cell is an absolute minimum of a 2, and yet we have to see 8 skyscrapers. So this is going to have to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that's going to be a 1. That's the only way it can possibly work. Oh, this is so clever. This is so clever. Because now, where's the 7 going to go? This is... Yeah, where does the 7 go? Well, where does the 9 go in the 7th row? Well, It can't go in this column or this column because they're needed for the 9 and the 8 skyscraper clues. So the 9 has to go here because it can't go any closer and reach a height of and enable us to see 7 skyscrapers from this direction. So the 9 will have to go here, but this cell could be neither a 1 nor a 2. So the minimum that can be is a 3. How on earth do you see 7 skyscrapers? You've guessed it. You're going to have to do this. And that's going to have to be a 1, 2 in that specific order because of this 1 in the 8 row. So it's a cycling sequence. We're going to just carry on like this. So if we try and do the 6 now, we're going to find it. The 6 is 9 goes here. This is going to be a 4. The 1 is going to go there. The 2 is going to go there. And the 3 is going to go there. So this... Well, what does this mean then? So that means these clues on this side are going to somehow differentiate the order of that this works in. So let me just think about this for a second or two. Wow. Yeah, okay. Wow. I think this 9 in this. I think this 9 in this row is correct. I'm not certain about that, but I think it's correct. Here's why. If we continued this cycling sequence a bit further, look what's happening at this end of things. In this row, the 9 hits the final cell. Now that's going to enable this clue to be a 1. But look what happens to all the other rows. In all the other rows, what would this skyscraper clue be? I think it always has to be a 2. Because in this instance, obviously the 1 is seen and then the 9 is seen, so that's going to be a 2. But here, we see the 2, we don't see the 1, it's lower than the 2, and then we see the 9, so that's a 2. Now if we were to extend this a bit further with this sort of pattern, where does the 1 go here, where does the 2 go here, where does the 3 go here? You can see the 3, which is the highest digit that sits to the right hand side of the 9 in this row, is always in the first position, preventing the 2 and the 1 from being seen. And if we extended this again and we did the 5 down here, we're going to have 4 here and 9 here, and the 1, 2, 3 are all going to be hidden. So every single clue in this column, apart from the one that corresponds with the 9, is a 2. Now that means that in order for this thermometer to have an imbalance, which it needs to have, this digit has to be higher. This has got to be a 2 and this has to be a 1. So I think this 9 is serendipitously correct. Now, but the corollary of this is absolutely mighty, isn't it? Because I'm a bit reluctant to get rid of all this other stuff. But I think everything else in this column is a 2. Ah, no, this is good. Okay, so if this is 2, and it has to be 2 from a skyscraper perspective, remember, it is a 2. By the palindrome, this is a 2, and we know that that corresponds to this row. So all I can do, I don't actually think I can do this in the software. I was going to try and control exit and copy and paste it down, but that's probably an unrealistic thing to attempt in the software. So I'm actually going to do that and disappear all of this and this as a result of that. Now this, on the other hand, that's got to be a 2, and that's got to be an 8 using the logic that says that these two have to add up to 10. Now for that 8 to be correct, that means we know we're going to have to... This is going to be silly, isn't it? So now we've got to go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9, like that. That's because it's a cycling sequence. That's how that one's going to look. So this is going to be a 2, which means that's going to be a 3. Thank goodness we don't have to worry about Sudoku in this column here, because that really will break. So this being a 3, this corresponds to this row. Look, so it's that row. So 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. and then that digit there is going to be a 6, and this one can come out. Now, hang on, let's get rid of this one because this one's nonsense. But, well, it's nonsense except we know that's a 2. Ah, no, it's not nonsense. We know that's a 2, and we know that that... Hang on, what did I have in there? I had the correct number. That's amazing. So the 9 and the 8, which I did for examples, are actually correct. Now, the reason that this 1 is correct is because this has to be consecutive with 2 and it cannot be 3 because of the 3 which corresponds to the 2 across the V clue. So it has to be a 1 and therefore we've filled that in. So this has to be a 2. This cannot now be a 1. We know one of these digits is double the other. So this has got to be a 4. I don't know how this is going to, the final parts of this are going to disambiguate, but this is just beautiful, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, we know the skyscraper clues are going to be 2s and 2s here. So somehow... Oh, because it's a cycling sequence. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. Let's think about this. We know that we've got to put 5, 6 and 7 into these cells. But we know that the highest digit must be on the right-hand side. So that's got to be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1. And then that's going to be 9, and that's going to be 8, and that's going to be a 2, is my what I'm going to assert. This is, I mean, this is just so ridiculously brilliant. This box needs 4, 5 and 6. The 6 has got to be on that side, so that's 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 7. That's going to be a 3. And you can see I'm not getting any repeated digits along my purple line, so it's all looking good. That cell's got to be a 1. Because it sees the 9 immediately. And in this box we still need 3s, 4s and 5s. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, and that cell should be a 4. And that, I'm going to allege, is the finished puzzle. I'm going to click tick. Oh, this puzzle doesn't include solution bobbins. Okay, so hopefully all that's gone wrong there is that the software doesn't understand that this is correct, in the sense that it should be analysing whether the digits 1 to 9 appear in this part of the grid only, not in the rest of it. So, but I can't actually be sure of that. I'll have to look at this in editing when I edit the video and see whether or not I've made either a Sudoku mistake or a logical mistake. I don't feel like I did, because I think the puzzle is so utterly ridiculously... Well, I was going to use loads of different adjectives then. I realised they were all inappropriate. I was going to say beautiful. It is beautiful, I suppose. And then I was going to say simple. And that's the wrong adjective, because it's not simple, but it is in a way. Once you understand how the cycle works, it's really easy to fill it in and very satisfying. I mean, that, James, you should take a bow, my friend, because that was absolutely gorgeous. The fact that you just, with 6 tiny clues, or no, it is 6 tiny clues on the right hand side, you can completely stabilize the unique solution of the puzzle is miracle-esque, and I absolutely love that. I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments. A short video today, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.